Hello, how is it going? How are you, you beautiful creature? I hope you're doing well. I am home, came back from my holidays. It's a few days after Christmas and a few days before New Year's Eve, and I am a bit socially tired. And I really cannot wait for the new year to start. Yeah. But I'm okay. I'm fine. 2022 has been a very special year. I'm not sure if it's something I want to talk about today, which is something else I want to talk to you about. Well, it is in the title, so you know I'm gonna talk about my TEDx experience. But yeah, just want to tell you that in general I'm fine. I hurt my shoulder this morning at bouldering. It's a bit annoying. I think I didn't warm up enough at the beginning of the session, and that's bad. So now I'm gonna rest a few days before going back to the bouldering gym. But you know, that's life. It's like that. I really like bouldering. I've been bouldering twice a week for the last 8 months, something, and I did some progress, so I'm happy about that, and I can see some changes in my body shape in general, and I think I like that. I feel better in my body now. But yeah, so today I just want to talk about a little bit about my TEDx experience. I thought for a minute I was going to talk about how I felt before. Oh, there it goes. You can hear this, right? It's okay. It's part of the aura of my house. Sirens of ambulances. Gone. Okay. I thought of talking about how I felt before, during, and after, but I realized I already made a vlog a few weeks ago about how I felt before doing the TED Talk. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about how I felt during that day, or the last few days before that day, and how I feel today about it. I'm not here to explain to you how a TED Talk works, what is it. I think I give enough information in my previous vlog about it, and it's also common knowledge in general. So I just really want to talk about my experience, and yeah. So just a little summary. Back in March or something like that, maybe even earlier, or at the beginning of the year, I applied for giving a talk at TEDx Frankfurt. I passed the selection, I was selected, and since March or something like that, I started working on this talk, and I did a lot of modifications over those months, and I ended up having the final version 1 week before the 23rd of October, which was the date of the TED Talk, TEDx event. And I've never been completely satisfied with what I made. It's been it's quite a mix of things that I like to do on the channel, right? It's about cephalopods. It's also quite personal about my experience and my love for those animals, and there is a lot of slides with my drawings. There's music, and there's a lot of humor. There's a lot of jokes, and I was very scared about the jokes because I was not, sure if people would like that. First of all, it's my first time doing really jokes, almost like stand-up comedy on stage. And the delivery of jokes is not something I'm particularly good with, especially when you have to adapt to an audience. But I'll talk about that in a few minutes. And I was also scared that you go to a TED Talk and don't necessarily expect someone to have a lot of slides and to do a mix of stand-up comedy and science. So I was a bit nervous about it. So yeah, a few days, maybe 24 hours, like the last week. Okay, let's go back, wait. So 1 month before the event, I did a rehearsal in person. And from that moment, I didn't touch my talk for like 3 weeks until 1 week before the event. At that point, I started freaking out because I haven't done anything for 3 weeks. I just ate some chips. I hope I don't have too many chips in my mouth. And then after that, I started changing a lot of things in my talk. I realized I was very close to the 18 minutes mark, 18 minutes limit. And so I removed a few slides also. And yeah, I had the final version 1 week before. Rehearsed every day. And 2 days before the TED Talk, I really started being nervous. And I'm generally not a nervous person. But yeah, the day before, we have a dinner with the other speakers on location. We have this dinner with the other speakers, all the coaches, and the speakers from last year. So that was a nice thing to do, to talk about, their own experience, which was also very different because it was a time of COVID, and so it was different from what we experienced. And yeah, the next day, so the day of the event, I would have had to talk in front of 350 people. And yeah, I was slightly getting nervous. So the day after that was the day of the event. So the night before, I barely slept. I was very, very nervous. So when I woke up, it feels like I never got married in my life. I don't know if that's what I'm gonna do, but if it's something I want to do in my life, I don't think I want to get married. We can talk about this another time, but it felt like it was a very special day. So I woke up and I was nervous because I didn't sleep, and I knew it was, a pivotal day in my life. And yeah, I got dressed, I took all my stuff, and we went to the Marriott Hotel at the Frankfurt airport, and yeah, I had a hard time believing that what was going to happen was going to happen. I had a sound check in the morning, I ate there, little sandwiches, and then some of my friends arrived, and then the event started. I gotta say that from the morning, the moment I woke up, I reached a plateau, a saturation of how nervous I could be. I couldn't have been more nervous than that, because I was the most nervous I've ever been. And what was very tiring is that it would never go down. This level of being nervous, of stress, was just like saturation all the time for hours. And the event started and I was like super sweaty. I do not sweat a lot, but that day I think I sweated the amount of sweat my body produces in 1 year. Terrible. I'm sorry for the people that were sitting next to me. But yeah, I was on the first line. So the front line has those couches for speakers. So I was there and there were 8 speakers in total. and I was the fourth one, I think. So I was right in the middle, which is nice because I didn't want to be the first one, because I like the idea that I can see someone and on the stage and see how the audience reacts, what kind of things they like, and not being the first person that has to experience that. And I didn't want to be the last person because of course I don't want to be stressed for an entire day. And so the event was 3 hours and a half, and so I was right in the middle, and I thought that was perfect. Yes, there were 8 speakers and 2 music performers. And yeah, I don't have anything to say, just that, I was nervous. And then 5 minutes before I started, my level of nervousness just like went whoop. I didn't give a about anything at that point. It's like when you go to an exam and you have studied, you haven't studied enough, but you have studied. And so the last few minutes, the last few hours before going to the exam, you're like, I can't do anything more than this, right? And so it was at that point where my level of nervousness was just like too high, and at this point it's not useful anymore. So my body was like, okay, 5 minutes, you're gonna go on stage in 5 minutes. I don't have to be nervous anymore, just do your thing. And that's what happened. 5 minutes before, I was just like, chill, easy peasy. Then they introduced me, they said my name, and I start to zone out. So I walk on the stage, I give my talk, and I have very brown out, memories of what happened. It went so fast. So those 18 minutes, they felt like 2 minutes. And I will do, I think, a breakdown of my TED Talk on the main channel, but what I would like to give you as information right now is just that it felt very beautiful and very cool. The audience was very generous. I felt like all the jokes landed well, maybe one a bit less, but like everything went very well. And people also sang along when I had music, and that was cool. So I think it was a success, and I was very proud of myself. But yeah, I gotta say, I was, of course, extremely nervous and stressed in general before that. And on stage, I just shut my brain down and just like talk with my heart. It's a bit cliche, but I was just like, I was just being myself, and it worked. And there was this right, dynamic with the audience where people would laugh or sing along or clap or be happy, and I could see like some people in the eyes, and they were enjoying it, and I was enjoying it because we were sharing a moment together, and it was quite magical. And I have never experienced anything like that in my life. I tend to talk about science, or in a context of science communication or science entertainment, however you want to call what I do on my channel, behind a camera. So that's very different from being in front of people. And sometimes I do go to science conferences and seminars, and I give talks there in front of scientists, and I'm not doing a lot of jokes there, right? It's a very serious, those are very serious events, and yeah, so this was the first time for me, and I felt like it worked, and I was very happy it did, and I had a blast. I had a very good moment with the audience. Yeah, I gotta say that, I was nervous because I rehearsed that talk hundreds of times. And there was not going to be a second TED Talk. There was not going to be a second TEDx talk by a veterinarian or talking about octopuses, I would have done it like once. I could not have said like, oh, please, can we redo this entirely from the beginning? You walk up on stage and what happens, and that is, you don't have a second life, right? Like it's not a video game. It's just those 18 minutes, they are there in time, you do them, it's over. Whatever happened there stays there. And so there's a very, almost sacred aura around those 18 minutes because I've been working for making those 18 minutes as perfect as I could for the last 8 months. I could not mess it up. I had to make it perfect. And the idea that something could happen, that I could just completely blank out and forget my text or say something wrong or play a chord wrong during my music, that was haunting me for like a long time, before going on stage. Of course, when I saw the reaction of the audience with the people, with the other speakers who did their talk before me, I felt way less nervous because I saw that the audience was very nice and generous and totally fine if you said something and you say it wrong and you wanted to, and you re-say your sentence, right? Like they gave you the space, and also they were cheering for you if you said something wrong. So I felt less nervous about it, but still I wanted my talk to be perfect, as perfect as I hoped it to be. And also, I wanted to be able to have fun, to enjoy it. I wanted it to be me. I wanted it to be special. And yeah, so I liked that. I think it was a beautiful experience. And when I was done, I have to say that I felt like a feather in a hot air chamber. So a feather that's levitating essentially. So I felt very, I was so nervous. I felt like a rock. I felt like very dense and heavy. And I gave my talk, and now I'm like, ooh, I'm so light. I could just fly away. And yeah, so after that, a lot of people came to me, and they were very happy to hear my talk and very enthusiastic about everything, about my future, keeping in contact, whatever. And that made me realize one thing. That is one thing I'd like to talk to you about in particular. Is that I really like being on stage, and I like being, here in front of my camera. And I always thought that, okay, my job in the future is going to be this. I want to be in front of the camera and talk about science and entertain you a bit and all of that. And I never thought that it would be a possibility to do this. And on top of this, also sometimes go at some events or go in a bar and have a show, a performance, a science comedy show, a sci-comedy show. My TED Talk is around 18 minutes, but I've removed so much information from it. It could totally be a 1 hour show. So I thought, maybe I should try this. Maybe 1 hour is a lot. Maybe I could do 35-40 minutes and just do a science stand-up comedy show based on what I've done already, but modify it, make it slightly different, adding a lot of things to it. And go to schools, go to science events, conferences, and all of that, and you know, that would be cool. I don't know if you have any, if you do know any stand-up comedian who also talks about science, please let me know, because I think it's a very small niche that hasn't been really that hasn't been filled, and so I think we could be pretty cool. I would like that. So yeah, science comedy show on stage, that would be cool, and I think we'd like to write something for that and try. Let's see. I'll keep you posted how it goes. Then what else? I feel lighter and I feel like I have more time finally to work on YouTube. I think I might do a video for the main channel soon, where I explain what are my projects. In general, you have to know that probably when this video is out, the video recording on my TED Talk is not out yet. I'm eagerly waiting for it, because I have a song at the end of my video that I remastered, and that has been, I did everything. I did the video clip, I re-sang everything, just music, instruments that I added to it, and it's just there. It's been uploaded already. I'm just waiting for the TED Talk to be out, to be released, to also release this song, to create, you know, a flow from the TED channel to my channel, from my channel to the TED channel. And I've also done a collaboration with a performer that I met at the TEDx Frankfurt. That video is almost done. I have to finish filming a couple of parts, and then I have to do all the animations and the editing, the rushing. I don't know if you say that in English. All the editing, like cutting the parts and putting them together, trimming stuff. It's all done already, but I have to add my animations and the transitions and work on the audio, because my audio was very, very bad, and I feel bad about it. But yeah, so I hope the audio is better now. But yeah, the audio was very bad for that video, so I have to learn a lot of things about audio, fixing audio and stuff on Premiere Pro. But yeah, and then for this new year, I have a very big project, 2 very big projects, and I hope I can make it happen. I started writing. I will tell you more, I think, on the main channel. But yeah, so I'm very happy because I finished my TED Talk, and now I feel lighter. I can use, you know, the little bit of creativity that I have to make stuff for the channel again, and it feels good because I haven't been able to do that for a long time, and this year has been very unproductive from the YouTube point of view. And there's this thing that I have to tell you also. We might have to talk about this another time also, but next year, 2023, I would like it to be the last year of my PhD, something like that, which means that I have to, you know, slowly think about how to transition between my PhD and YouTube as a job, if I want YouTube to be my job. I mean, YouTube, when I say YouTube, I mean science communication, because it doesn't necessarily have to be on YouTube. Yeah, so I have to think about it, and one thing is for sure is that I have to be way more productive on the channel itself, because if I don't, this will never be a job. But I guess I can do it. I just have to be more consistent and find a regularity in, you know, a consistency in how often I publish stuff on the channel. I might need help from some of the people close to me to handle that, but I'll make it happen, I think. So yeah, so that's it. I think I'm very happy about my TEDx Talk experience. I would do it again one day. I hope next time might be just TED Talk, not a TEDx Talk. But we'll see. We'll see. I hope my talk will, the video recording will be released soon. And yeah, I think that's it for this vlog. I might just keep recording to make another one, talk about something else, because I feel like I need it. I need to talk to you a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, I hope you're doing well. That life is treating you okay. And yeah, see you in the next life. Bye.